It's Wednesday, January 8th, right now on 12 News at 10.
We'll have the latest from California, where wildfires continue to wreak havoc all across LA County. How crews are working to protect people and their homes tonight.
I'm Bianca Bono at the scene of breaking news in Glendale, where one person is dead, another is seriously hurt after a shooting with police. Coming up, we'll tell you what led up to the shooting.
An Arizona woman fights back against a lawsuit from a debt collector, claiming it's a case of mistaken identity. It's a story you'll only see on 12 News.
Other people need to know how to fight them.
Cold air has arrived in Arizona. I am tracking freeze warnings for tonight for parts of the lower deserts in my weather impact forecast.
12 News at 10 with Mark Curtis and Caribe Divine starts now.
We begin tonight with breaking news. Several wildfires now raging across the Los Angeles area, the latest sparking in the Hollywood Hills.
We want to give you some video from the Sunset Fire in that area. We first showed you this fire during our 6 o'clock newscast, just after the fire broke out. The California Department of Forestry says it's now burned about 50 acres, and crews are scrambling to try to protect nearby homes. Mandatory evacuations are in place for the popular Runyon Canyon area. Many hikers from Arizona have probably been on those trails at some point.
At least 5 people have been killed by the wildfires in the area, and more than 100,000 people are under evacuation orders tonight. Right now, over 380,000 people across Southern California remain without power. Arizona's Department of Forestry and Fire Management have 2 task forces in California right now to help with the firefight. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Caribe Divine.
I'm Mark Curtis. Intense winds in the area are causing these fires to explode in size. And tonight, officials are working to get residents out of harm's way as these fires continue to rage. Tonight, we're hearing from folks who had to leave literally everything behind. People who live near the Eaton fire burning in Altadena are worried tonight that their homes are gone. The deadly blaze ballooning to more than 10,000 acres and is now threatening about 13,000 buildings.
It's been moving throughout the night. It was clear last night. I came back this morning, fires and the winds moved it this way.
The Palisades wildfire is now over 15,800 acres and has already destroyed at least 1,000 structures, making it the most destructive ever in Los Angeles County, according to CAL FIRE.
My neighborhood is entirely burnt down. My elementary school is probably burnt down. My high school just burnt down. And my middle school might burn down.
Tens of thousands of people under evacuation orders.
First thing is rescue operations. We want you out. Houses can be replaced, all that, lives cannot.
Thursday is expected to see critical fire danger stretching from Santa Barbara to San Diego. The White House says President Biden has officially approved a major disaster declaration for the state of California, unlocking federal resources for survivors.
I mean, it is heartbreaking. We lost everything, and not only us, everyone around us. When I was standing in my front yard, I was looking at this giant red glowing fire that was just enveloping everything, and it was just heart-wrenching.
And we're sending a crew out to Los Angeles to cover the firefight and the tragic aftermath these wildfires are leaving behind. 12 News journalist Troy Hayden will have updates throughout the day tomorrow. There are so many stories that are starting to come out of people literally losing everything, including Valley native and one of America's most decorated Olympians, swimmer Gary Hall Jr. I talked to him just an hour ago, and his story of just how quickly this fire blew up in Pacific Palisades is staggering.
I was able to grab my dog and just a couple personal items. That was it. And hot embers were raining down on me as I jumped into the car, and it was just pandemonium. It was unlike anything I've experienced before. So many people lost everything. Where I lived, nothing stands.
Did you lose your medals? Were they in the house?
Oh, yeah. I did not have time to grab anything. Yeah, everything is gone.
Thankfully, Gary is safe and his dog is okay. He's staying with his sister further down the coast. He told me that this really makes you understand what's important and what's not. A GoFundMe has been set up to help Gary rebuild. We've posted a link to that fundraiser on our website, 12news.com. Meanwhile, back here at home, the Horton fire continues to burn northeast of the valley in the Tonto National Forest. It's now burned more than 8,000 acres, but ground crews started to make progress today. The fire is now 23% contained. ADOT's also warning anyone driving near the fire zone to watch out for firefighting equipment and possible heavy smoke in the area.
We're also tracking a brush fire that's burning in Cave Creek right now. Officials with Daisy Mountain Fire and Medical say that it's about 200 acres in size and crews have no way to access it on the ground. However, they add that the fire is not a threat to any structures right now. The cause has yet to be determined. Well, if a wildfire were to damage homes here in Arizona, an Arizona insurance expert is offering some advice to homeowners here on what you should be doing now to ensure that you're protected in case of an emergency. Nathan Mason is with Insurance Professionals of Arizona. He says that the first thing to do is look at your insurance policy and understand what it means. He says that fire is a basic coverage that is in homeowners' policies, and even if you're evacuated but your home remains intact, loss of use coverage is still available. So be sure to track all of your receipts for hotels and food expenses. We asked Mason if the fires in California could lead to a rate increase elsewhere. He says the short answer is yes, because insurance money is pooled.
It's unfortunate that every now and then we have these devastating occurrences that cause for some people to take a lot out. And if there's a lot taken out, that means it depletes the resources to take care of all the claims, all the damages, meaning everybody's going to see a little bit of an increase just because it's been depleted.
And as we've been reporting, there have been many people who have been dropped by insurance companies due to fire risk. Mason says that in those cases, be persistent and do your research because there are some that will take on higher risk areas. Unfortunately, it usually comes with a less robust policy and a much higher price tag.
We're following some breaking news in Glendale tonight, where one person is dead after a shooting involving police. Sky 12 is over the scene near 47th Avenue and Olive. 12 News journalist Bianca Bono is live there with an update. Bianca?
Yeah, Mark, much of 47th Avenue just south of Olive remains completely closed off tonight as this investigation unfolds. Glendale police say thankfully none of their officers are hurt, but one man has died. Another has life-threatening injuries after a shooting involving Glendale police. We want to show you a look at the scene live right now. We are learning, though, that this unfolded right after 7 o'clock tonight, about 2 miles south of where we are near 47th Avenue and Glendale. Police say a woman called 911 to report a domestic violence situation involving a man. When police showed up to respond to that call, the man had already left the area, but police say they tracked down a vehicle that matched the description they were given and found him in this area near 47th Avenue and Diana near Horizon Park. A spokesperson tells us they asked the man to raise his hands, and instead he may have reached for something, and at that point an officer fired. That man died from his injuries. Police say a second man also has life-threatening injuries, but police did not provide information yet about who that second person is and what his relationship is to the other man. Police also have not yet been able to say whether they found any kind of weapon on either of those men. I did ask police if they have any kind of history with the man or woman at the center of that domestic violence call, but they say it's just too early to say. Now, back out here live, police have also, of course, not yet identified anybody in this situation. They did say, however, Peoria police will be taking over to investigate this officer-involved shooting. We're live in Glendale. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
Bianca, thanks. The family of a Valley woman killed by her husband over the weekend in a murder-suicide is speaking to 12 News tonight. Ashley Lopez's family gathered to remember and reflect on her memory and what she meant to them. Her young son, Maverick, was also shot and is now recovering in the hospital. The family says that Ashley's memory will live on as they remember the woman that she was.
She lit up the room everywhere she went. She made everybody vibrant. She was just a all-around happy person. She was never in drama or anything. She loved to dance. She loved to sing. She loved her baby. She was just an awesome person.
And as you heard from her aunt there, the family says that, she loved to dance, she loved to sing. A GoFundMe has been set up if you'd like to help. We've posted a link on our website. New at 10, a former Arizona corrections officer was arrested for allegedly distributing some kind of contraband to inmates. The Department of Corrections, Rehabilitation and Reentry released a statement tonight saying that Berman Coman is no longer employed by the department after working there for 11 years. Officials have not said what Coman allegedly distributed, but say that a criminal investigation that started 5 months ago resulted in video evidence of his actions.
Tonight, a story you'll only see on 12 News. One of the nation's largest debt collection agencies has faced fines and penalties for violating consumer rights. But one woman says it's still happening to her. So she turned to the 12 News I-Team's Katie Wilcox for help. Katie's with us in studio, and what exactly happened here?
Yeah, Mark, Ann Muniz told me that she bought a computer back in 2011 and said she paid it off right away. So you can imagine her shock when a debt collector sued her for nearly $3,000 for that computer she doesn't even have anymore.
Yeah, there we go.
Life's surprises
Hanging on.
come in different
The
shapes
chickens love these.
and sizes.
We got an egg.
And Ann Munoz thought she was ready for anything.
If you're prepared, you don't have to worry.
So what was it like when you got this?
This was different.
This being a lawsuit from one of the nation's largest debt collection agencies, Portfolio Recovery Associates, demanding $2,700 from a Dell computer account back in 2011, a debt PRA bought in 2023.
This came out of the blue because I had no idea what this was about. It's not my debt.
Ann said she did buy a Dell computer more than 13 years ago.
But I paid it off.
And this lawsuit had no information about where the rest of the debt came from.
So I don't know if this has to do with fraud, credit fraud, or what.
Giving Ann something new to prepare for.
First thing I did was, start doing research and finding out as much information as I could.
And that's because you're a lawyer, obviously.
Oh, yeah, sure. I used to drive a school bus.
Ann did not actually become a lawyer. But
is my office.
She did learn how to advocate for herself.
My grandson decorated it for me.
And discovered she was not the first Ann Munoz sued for this very same debt.
They sent that notice to an Ann K. Munoz in Memphis, Missouri. I've never lived in Missouri, ever.
Last April, PRA filed a separate lawsuit in Missouri and then dropped it to file a new lawsuit against this Ann Munoz in Vernon, Arizona.
You can't air what I want to say, so let's say WTF.
While the lawsuit is a unique experience for Ann, her case is far from novel for Portfolio Recovery Associates. The I-Team analyzing data from Maricopa County Justice Courts, finding that in this county alone, PRA filed more than 21,000 debt collection lawsuits since 2022, demanding more than $47 million in debts PRA bought from other credit card companies and banks.
They don't know who Portfolio Recovery Associates is. They didn't ever take out a debt with the debt buyers of the world.
Jason Pickler is senior attorney with the North Carolina Justice Center.
You don't know who these people are, and they're suing on debts that were owed years ago.
His team represented thousands of people in that state who also got sued by PRA.
We saw that Portfolio Recovery Associates, when they were obtaining default judgments, were not filing what we thought were the necessary documents. So we filed a lawsuit.
And after a long legal battle
for many, many years, and then the parties decided to settle that early in 2024.
Now, PRA is paying back millions of dollars to people in North Carolina. And that's not all.
This is the lawsuit that the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau filed against Portfolio Recovery.
In 2023, the CFPB fined Portfolio Recovery Associates $24 million for repeated violations.
This says that PRA sued thousands of consumers when it lacked proper documentation about the debt, and at times sued on debts that were too old.
Yes, and that's what they did to me.
I asked about the lawsuits filed against Arizonans, but the company said they wouldn't talk about any of those legal cases, instead saying that they do adhere to strict requirements.
But in justice courts, if the people don't respond, they could get a default judgment filed against them. Even if the court doesn't have proof, they owe the debt.
The reaction of a lot of people is, I don't know who you are. Is this a scam? I'm not, I don't have the time or resources to respond to you. But unfortunately, those people are then having judgments obtained against them when there are things that they could do to fight them.
So far, the I-Team found total judgments against people in Maricopa County for more than $4.3 million.
We would urge Arizona to enact some kinds of rules and regulations protecting people who don't respond to the complaint, in recognition that that is the vast majority of people sued on these kinds of debts.
Anne did respond to her lawsuit.
This has cost me money. What frustrates me is I save up money from the beginning of the year so I can donate to the food pantry. That's the money that they took.
Now preparing for a hearing in early January.
And it's not just me. There's other people. Other people need to know how to fight them. And I'd love to be able to do that.
And if you're ever facing legal trouble or legal action from a debt collector, we have resources for you on what you can do on 12news.com. Katie Wilcox, 12 News.
Temperature is the big story over the next day, and we're going to keep those high wind speeds through Thursday. A breakdown coming up in my weather impact forecast.